Heyo! Welcome back to Chapter Chumps, a reading podcast where three guys read a book and then talk about it. They really do. What I thought I'd do is I'd host the podcast, Chapter Chumps. I like Chapter Chumps. I think it's a pretty good podcast, even though we just sit here and talk the crap the whole time. My name's Connor. I'm joined as ever by my two co-hosts, Connor and Josh.
Ooh, good transition there.
And today...
Oh, you got us backwards, though.
Today on the podcast,
replay.
We're going to be discussing chapters 11 through 15 of JD Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye. So far, we're on track. We're on our reading schedule. We got 2 more weeks left to this if we keep our pace up.
Good, only 2 more weeks left. Kidding.
I love reading a book that Josh is not as into.
This is the first
really one. Fun.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't actually that into the short story that I selected. I'm blanking on the name all of a sudden. So I'm thinking about
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, right.
Yeah, same deal.
Wasn't the one where they rumpled all that stiltskin?
I mean,
rumpled foreskin.
I mean, the Gaston guy did.
Crumpled foreskin.
Wow, that's gross. That's really something. Yeah, you're right, Josh, but like it's different, carrying that through a whole book. With the short story, that's a one and done. But
yeah, exactly.
So I guess now you kind of know what I felt like when I was reading through Restaurant at the End of the Universe. It's finally happened.
No, I think this is different.
Still not the same.
You eventually started to understand what was going on.
Yeah. I mean, I still kind of stand by my score. I feel like my mentality has changed on that book a little bit, especially because we read through the rest of the series.
Which is what we wanted.
But I still don't think it's like any better, technically.
Josh,
Okay.
Do you not understand this book? Is that what you're saying?
I'm still trying to figure it out, yeah. I do have a couple notes on that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I kind of feel like I don't understand it completely either, to be honest, but I think my perspective on my misunderstanding is like different. I find that interesting, and I feel like there's something that I'm missing, or like that will become more clear as we finish the book.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am too, actually. It's like I feel like I'm missing something.
Just wait until he finds the amulet. Then it'll all make sense.
Well, he already got the ray gun from Kazoo, so
he got the ray gun from Kazoo. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, just wait until he throws the ring into the volcano.
Yeah. Can't believe that's all going to happen in the next 10 chapters, but yeah. So, anyways,
there's a video I got to share with you guys at some point. We can do that off the podcast.
Okay.
It's about Catcher in the Rye?
Yeah, about.
No, it's about Lord of the Rings, actually.
Okay.
Imagine if Holden was one of the hobbits. That would be awesome.
Oh my, that would be hilarious.
That would
Fatty
be great.
Vulture.
That would be so funny.
Imagine Gandalf's reactions to the shit Holden comes out with.
Yeah.
He would have smacked him.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of feel like Holden might actually be most close to Pippin, really.
I mean, I think so, but Pippin is a little bit more, I don't know, a little less jaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True enough. But Holden the Fellowship, I can imagine reading like all of the shit that he thinks is annoying of it. He's like, these fucking guys have
so
to
much
cook
walking.
Breakfast. Yeah,
Yep.
Every fucking 5 minutes we're eating breakfast. What is up with these guys?
He would be like me, talking about how much more fucking walking around the woods can we take?
Yeah. Yeah. Although Holden does do a fair amount of walking in
He
these
does. It's
chapters
true.
here.
Maybe he doesn't mind walk. Well, I mean, walking around the woods is a bit different. I think. I think he would get bored.
Yeah. No, I think so too. There's something really funny in that idea that I don't think we've quite reached, but I think it's a hilarious idea.
I also think that putting Holden in any other, like any one of the other books we've read would be really fun and funny. Like imagining him in like
Left Hand of Darkness.
Left Hand. Oh my god.
Oh, that whole planet would be fucked.
That would be really hilarious.
Yeah.
2001: A Space Odyssey. Him
He'd
talking
be like,
to Hal.
oh my god, yeah, oh my god. Yeah, no, this is really really ripe for like a sketch comedy series.
Oh yeah, we could do a great skit.
Oh,
you know,
we could call it we could call it Holden Out.
That's it's a. I mean, it could be that could be the name of the series. We could have a series of Holden popping up in different pieces of literature. It would be terrific.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh was saying about the ducks. Holden asking Hal about the ducks and still not understanding.
That's great. Yeah. Oh my god.
I think like Hal would lose his mind even faster.
Yeah.
Like talking to him,
yeah.
Go on a fucking rampage.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So anyways, anything new? How we doing, huh?
Doing okay. Okay. I mean, the world's great. We're doing. It's just feels like a great time to be alive.
Totally fine. Yep.
I did not ask what do you think about the state of the world. I asked.
Well, that's it's hard not to let that inform how you're feeling personally.
Of course.
So that's really all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay. Well.
Especially if you're an empathetic human being of any capacity.
Yeah, it's true.
Must be why I'm feeling so great lately.
Yeah. Sorry, Connor.
Yeah. Just a husk, you know.
Empty
Just
husk.
like Holden.
Yeah.
Holden's not a husk, Josh. That's
Not yet.
You definitely do misunderstand him.
I think I do. Yeah. I'm also joking. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's get to it then. We're not going to talk about the world. I don't think anyone knows where the ducks go, so we might as well talk about the book.
It's the crack in the wall that is disappearing the ducks, like in the pond in Ledworth, right, Josh?
Prisoner Zero has escaped.
Yep. Holden and Doctor Who would be pretty fun. He'd be a great companion.
Ooh, that would be hilarious. That really would be.
I'm trying to think if there have been any companions with similar personality as him in the past. But I don't think so.
Not really.
Maybe one of the old companions who just didn't stick around very long, because I can't see Holden's personality being endearing to a wide audience.
I'm thinking, like, do you remember Turlo?
No, I did not.
That was one of the Fifth Doctor's companions. They're not very similar, but I think he was also kind of like a little bit skeptical of it all. But
that's kind of funny because I sort of see Holden as like a Nardole analog.
Well, I mean, honestly, not within the modern series. Maybe Nardole is the closest analog there. I don't. But just Nardole is also way more knowledgeable than Holden.
Yeah.
Nardole is a citizen of the universe, you know.
You know what's crazy is for as easy it is to take shots at Nardole just because he looks so fucking stupid and he's such a singularly fucking buffoonish fucking moron, stupid ass character. You just got done saying how smart he is, but when I think of Nardole, I think of like a fucking Peabody little twerp loser.
He contains duality.
I don't remember him at all.
Yeah,
I don't remember Nardole.
See, I actually do remember because he shows up brief. For some reason, I keep going back to River's episode with 12 on the Titanic ship. Not the Titanic, but like the big headless robot trying to find the Doctor, and they're like, "Oh, there's a meteor shower." Because
the Husbands of River song.
Thank you, that one. Because I really like the speech at the end of that. So I go
Yeah.
back looking at that speech, and the clip that always comes up has Nardole in it briefly because he's one of the heads in the robot.
Yeah, that's his first episode, and then he
Is it?
becomes, yeah, and he's beheaded, and then the Doctor reassembles him for company, and that's why he tags along for all of Series 10.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, they have a tendency to gloss over shit like that in Doctor Who.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, there's some
Why
details
can't
like
he just
that.
Why can't he just be a reassembled
I'm
robot
not saying he
man?
can't. I'm just saying they could have explained that a little better in the show.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't really give a shit. You see, when he walks into the scene and the first episode of Series 10, you see a screw fall out of his
That's so
pant leg.
stupid.
Yeah, that's all you really need to know.
And then they like never talk about it
Never,
again.
no.
He's just
Well,
Yeah,
normal.
it's never mentioned again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little more mention. That's all I asked for.
Yeah.
Thank you, Moffat. We love you. We love you,
Yeah.
sir.
We
Brilliant.
do. Doctor Who is just like a deeply stupid show, but you do love it for that. Well, all right. I could tell you, fucking Holden would hate the fuck out of Doctor Who. He would hate that fucking show. He would not, if you can't watch a movie, then like there's no way that Doctor Who would float his boat.
Or any television, really.
He would absolutely hate David Tennant.
Yeah. And you know what? I'd kind of respect him for it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I couldn't hold it against him.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, let's play this game just a little bit here. If he was alive,
okay.
If he was
We're
alive,
12 minutes into the podcast though, and we got 5 chapters to discuss.
I think we'll be fine, Josh. If he was alive now, what would he like? Because obviously back in his day, like movies were kind of a novel thing. We discussed that a little bit. They were kind of new and exciting and stuff. Obviously, movies are old hat now. Would he actually be a film guy now? Like would he actually be into movies, but kind of adverse to social media and everything, like all modern things? Do you think that's kind of how he would be? Music, yeah.
I think he'd be into the music scene. Maybe comics.
Maybe comics. Well, I mean, maybe comics. I think he would hate Marvel though.
Yeah, he'd have strong opinions about the comics that he's reading.
Yeah.
But
he'd be a dark horse guy.
If not comics, then probably still just reading.
Yeah,
he does enjoy reading. That seems to be the only thing he enjoys right now.
Connor, your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely think you're right that like the thing that he would hate in the modern day wouldn't be movies, just because of how things have changed so much. So he would hate podcasts for sure.
He would hate podcasts, hate TikTok, hate YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think Josh is pretty close to the mark there. I don't see why he still wouldn't be into books. I guess I could. The thing is like I don't know. I don't think that he dislikes movies because of their like relative modernity. And of course, it's like, okay, just for any listeners who are like, oh, movies weren't that new. It's like we're it's like with the history of cinema, yeah, but like, at the time then, like, yes, like the movie landscape was changing a lot then too.
Yeah.
Being, like, modernized to what. So right, I get that. But I think that what he doesn't like about movies is the
phoniness.
Yeah, I guess. Because it's inherently a medium where everyone has to play pretend in order for it to like become art. And I also think he's very I don't know, like jittery, and it's maybe hard for him to sit still for even like an extended period of time. I don't know. It feels like I haven't seen this guy fucking just like sit down for more than 5 minutes,
Except after he had that spat with Stradlater and thought about Jane for half an hour in his chair.
Yeah.
Good point.
But that's him being like stuck in his mind, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. But yes, I do think that like the pretend nature of movie making is like maybe what he dislikes about it. Or maybe he just doesn't like the movies because that's what his brother swept up in. I don't know. The
Yeah,
whole thing with
maybe.
the movie seems and it keeps coming up. I thought that was going to be just like a one-off little quirky detail, but it keeps coming up that he doesn't like the movies.
Yeah, yeah.
And now he's going to a movie. So
by his own choice. Like he's setting it up.
But not to see the movie. He just like kind of wants company to and
Right.
he's killing time with this girl, but
yeah.
that he also doesn't really care about.
Right.
Yeah, which rubs me the wrong way, but that's not my choice to make, apparently. Well, not apparently, just like in general. I'm not the character here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we don't really know what he's going to make of them, or even if he'll end up at the movies. That's how this section ends. So let's talk about this actual section here.
Yeah, why don't you give us a synopsis?
Yes, let's go through it. Let's give a little synopsis here. SNOPSIS.
Synopsis, a synopsis.
Synopsis. Yeah. Okay. Chapter 11. Holden leaves the Lavender Room, that hotel bar, and he just kind of sits in the lobby and he thinks about Jane. And he says he's not tired at all still. And then he gets ready to go out to this club called Ernie's. So chapter 11 is really just him still like refusing to go to sleep. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to Ernie's. I'm going to old Ernie's place. And he's still thinking about Jane. Chapter 12, Holden takes a cab to Ernie's, and he has this hilarious conversation with the cab driver. And then we spend some time at Ernie's. He meets this girl who used to go around with his brother DB. And then Holden is like, I do not want to be with you at all. I don't want to be near you. I don't want to be perceived. I don't want to play into this conversation because you don't care about me. You just want to know what's going on with my brother. And so he leaves out of like awkward societal obligation because he says he's going to meet someone because it's all he can think of. That's obviously not what's happening at all, but he just has to get the fuck out of there. And so he leaves. And then chapter 13, he walks like 40 blocks back to the hotel because he says he doesn't want to take a cab because he's taken so many cabs and he just doesn't feel like it. And when he gets back to the hotel, the guy who works the elevator offers him
Maurice.
Maurice offers him time with a prostitute. And Holden also like kind of awkwardly and bumblingly says yeah, he accepts, and then he's like, oh, I regret saying it already, but it's too late, you know. And chapter 14, oh wait, I skipped ahead because actually in that chapter, so Sunny does show up, the prostitute, and she tries to get it on with him, but Holden cannot in this situation do that at all. And so he just says like, hey, I'll pay you and all, but you know, I'm not gonna sleep with you. Like, you can just go. I'm sorry. And so Holden gives her $5 because that's what Maurice told him. And Sonny's like, no, it's $10. And Holden's like, no, it's not. Maurice definitely told me 5. So she leaves, only gives her $5. In chapter 14, he tries to sleep, and it's like it's nearly dawn, they mention, and now he's trying to sleep. So he lays down in bed, he thinks about Jesus, and then Maurice and Sonny come back to his room, Maurice shakes him down because he says, like, no, you still owe us $5. It was $10. It was $10 just to have a throw or whatever. And Holden's like, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And Holden's like all nervous and pissed as hell, and he's freaking out and he's crying. And he's saying, no. And Holden holds his ground, doesn't give him the $5 willingly. Maurice punches him in the gut. Sonny takes the $5. They both leave. Holden just lays on the ground again, like after he got punched the first time by Stradlater. And he has this whole fantasy about killing Maurice, and then says, or like thinks to himself, like, that's the whole trouble with the movies, is it makes you like think this shit. And then he the chapter ends with him thinking about killing himself, like sincerely. He's like, I'm really just want to fucking kill myself, and the only thing that's stopping me is I don't want to have a whole bunch of fucking losers look at my mangled corpse on the sidewalk. And that's the only thing, according to him, that stops him from jumping out the window.
Yikes.
So chapter 15, he sleeps a few hours. He wakes up around 10 o'clock. This is the first new day of the book. Everything that we've read since the beginning of the book up until this point took place within the same day, Saturday. It's now Sunday. And when he wakes up,
Well, it could be Monday by the end of the book.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the crazy thing is like he keeps saying like, oh, I can't go back and see my parents until Wednesday, Tuesday at the earliest.
Yeah.
And there's 10 chapters left in this book. So it's like, what, yeah, like what is the condition in which this book will end? Who knows? So Holden wakes up. He was like, oh, maybe I'll order breakfast. And then he's like, no, what if Maurice brings it to me? So he just keeps chain smoking. He calls up this girl, Sally Hayes, plans a meetup for them to go out on a date. He goes to Grand Central Station because he checks out of the hotel, and he goes to Grand Central because he's like, what do I even do? Where the fuck do I even go? I'm just going to hang around there because it's close to where I'm going to go on this date, and I can leave my bags at the station. So he leaves his bags at the station, and then he gets in this conversation with these two nuns, and they talk about a whole bunch of stuff. They talk about Romeo and Juliet, and then the nuns leave, and Holden's kind of just like there. And then it's like, presumably, he's waiting to go out on this date with Sally Hayes, and who knows what the fuck else is going to happen next. But that's where chapter 15 ends. That's the section that we read for today.
Yep.
I feel sort of like last time, like this is one of those books where we kind of were saying it seems like not a lot is happening. Like when you consider the plot, it doesn't really feel like the plot is advancing very much. But there's all these events that are occurring and all these conversations between characters that are always happening that, like, when I break down the summation and then when we start to like discuss it, I think we kind of come to find like there is obviously a lot that's happening, and yet it's like it feels like it's spinning its wheels at the same time too.
I was literally thinking this when I was reading the chapters on Tuesday. This feels like the book where a lot almost happens, and I was thinking that right before Sonny and Eugene came back.
Maurice.
Yeah.
Maurice, damn it. One of those mid-20th century names.
Yeah.
So it was very much like he almost did all this stuff. And then I was thinking about it after that scene happened. I was like, actually, he did get into a fight with Stradlater. He did actually go see his professor, but it feels like there's not the kind of payoff I'm expecting from the story. Up until actually Sonny and Maurice show up, and that feels like something's actually happening, and consequences for his direct actions, which weren't really deserved, to be honest. I mean, no one deserves to get shaken down like that. But yeah, no, it was just a shitty situation, but it was also kind of cathartic in the fact that something was happening
And
and
you
felt
know, I
like it was
mean,
happening.
that's like something that's happened to all of us, so it's very relatable as well. You know.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I get what you mean, Josh, because that is definitely the moment where it feels like, oh yeah, this must be the thing that like occurs in the book, like, and that's sort of where our conversation ended up
Mm-hmm.
last week, where it was like, where's this going? Um, of course, then Sonny and Maurice just leave, and it's like, is that over?
It?
Like, what are these next 10 chapters?
Yep. I don't know. Apparently, it's
Yeah.
going to be. It may almost be a date with someone he just thought of, or he finds out what happens to the ducks. I don't know.
The grand resolution of the book is him finally finding out what happens to the ducks.
Can we talk
Is
about
that
the
the
ducks?
is that the payoff you need, Josh?
Yeah.
No, it's not, because I actually know what happens to the ducks. They migrate. It's like basic elementary
They
school level
didn't know
stuff.
that
But
back then. They didn't know that back
well,
then.
here's what I actually had
They
a
just
note
thought
on
they
this.
disappeared.
I actually had a note on this. Is there was a time where people believed that swallows used to hibernate in swamps because they would see the swallows dive into the swamps and they wouldn't see the swallows until they catch bugs and stuff, but they wouldn't watch to see the swallows like fly away. And it was all hearsay and no real evidence towards anything. And so for like a lot of the 18th century, people just believed that swallows hibernated for the winter in swamps and ponds and lakes instead of what we know now would be migration. So this whole his whole fixation with the ducks was just reminding me of that absolutely insane belief that people had 200 years ago. Um, and for the record, we eventually proved that swallows migrate by simply tagging their legs, and then people down south found those tags on the legs of the swallows. So
So they must have done the same thing to the ducks.
eventually, yes.
Well, I do want to talk about the ducks, and I want to talk about this conversation, and it's a funny place to start, so we might as well start there. First off, Holden does know about migration, which is like kind of what makes this conversation crazier. On page 107, he says, I mean, does somebody come around in a truck or something and take them away, or do they fly away by themselves, go south or something? He seems to be aware.
Yep.
Well, he's aware it's a possibility at least.
But
that's
like,
good.
The fact that those two things are like side by side, like Holden's like either they fly south or someone comes by in a truck and takes them. Like those are equally viable options for Holden.
Sorry, I found my note and it says, "Don't listen to Horowitz because he's saying the ducks stay right there."
Yeah, well, this whole thing is hilarious. This is definitely the first time I was like truly laughing out loud reading the book. Connor was saying, I think last week, he had some moments that made him laugh out loud, and I've like, various levels of air being snorted through my nose. You know the deal. Like when you read a funny comment on the internet, you know the deal. But this conversation with the ducks really did make me fucking laugh. I was like, this is incredible. This is the Seinfeld feeling that, I think Connor was like really spot on with pointing out.
Yes, this conversation was 100% Seinfeld coded.
Yeah, and it's like,
I'll have to take your word for it.
Well, it's just like, I don't know.
Well,
it's not about the conversation necessarily.
You
It's
guys are
about
talking
like,
about how this book isn't about anything, and Seinfeld is like the famous show about nothing. That's like what it's branded.
right.
Famously, it's kind of the same deal here in a way.
Well, I agree. I don't mean like that there's like nothing going on in the book. I just
Well, I know, and just like in the same way, it's not really nothing happening in Seinfeld. It's just
yeah,
you know.
but I do think there's like that sort of is a big draw with this book. Like there is a lot of overlap with Seinfeld, because with Seinfeld it's sort of like um the catharsis and comfort of like someone else over analyzing and dissecting, like, you know, these minor mundane, you know, societal pleasantries and minutia that like we all just kind of sift through. And then to see, you know, the characters in Seinfeld and have Larry David like write about it so sharply and knowingly, it's like, that's what's funny about it, of course, because like you watch it and you're like, yes, yeah, absolutely, like what the fuck is up with this shit, you know? And I do think that's a big draw for Catcher in the Rye, where like all of these little thoughts that Holden is constantly having and all these things he's constantly commenting on, yeah, I mean, your mileage may vary on if it's relatable to you or not, but you probably know what he's talking about. You probably know what it's like to be out somewhere and run into someone and be like, oh, fucking great. Or even the way he gets out of that by making something up and then having to follow through. I mean, I don't know. I know exactly what that's like. I've done that. Like, I don't know.
Is that why you had to leave last time you were visited?
Yeah, sorry. I made it all up. Anyways, the ducks. I do think the whole shit with the ducks is hilarious. I think it's hilarious that Holden doesn't know. I think it's hilarious he keeps asking people. I think it's hilarious that the cab driver gets so pissed off about it and then keeps talking about it and then says,
I felt
like,
very New York.
He's like, what about the fish? He's like, what do you think? Forget about the ducks. What do you think happens to the fish? And then he's like, they all freeze in place and they survive through the nutrients in the ice because it's in their nature. The dude's a fucking idiot too. Like, it's hilarious to hear this conversation between these two characters. JD Salinger is a fucking genius for writing these two morons talking to each other. I don't know. I don't have much more to say about it. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great scene. And then especially just like like I don't know, his at the end, just like Holden follows up with these people who he doesn't even really like or enjoy talking to. He always ends the conversation with like, "Oh, you want to have a drink with me?"
Yeah. Yes.
Like, yeah, it's just that's the funniest thing. Because it's like, what? Of course he doesn't. Or like, none of these people do. Like,
yeah. He'll ask anyone because he just can't be by himself. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the struggle for him. He can't stand anyone else, but he can't be by himself.
Right. He can't stand himself the most, man.
Yeah. That's some deep shit, man.
Actually, I did have a little note here toward the end of that conversation. And the cab driver says, if you was a fish, Mother Nature would take care of you, wouldn't she? You wouldn't just die. And I feel like there's this kind of implication, like, I don't know, that it's like with human beings being part of nature too, you know, like it's not, how do I say this? The cab driver saying that because of the way nature works, like there's a natural way of things occurring, whether you know how it works or not. He's saying like the fish must live because the next fucking spring, it's not like the whole pond is empty. There's still fish in it. And maybe he doesn't know between point A and point B, but he's like, the fish don't just die because nature has a way of like sorting things out. And so it's not that Mother Nature only looks after fish, of course. The cab driver's talking about the fish as an example of how nature like takes care of itself and like, you know, balances the books, as it were. And so I think there's this larger implication of, if Mother Nature looks after the fish, then Mother Nature looks after the birds and the dogs and the cats and the people and human beings, all things on Earth. And yet, from what we know, Holden's brother does just die. Holden's brother is not looked after by Mother Nature or like any cosmic force, seemingly.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I wondered if I felt like Holden is like kind of not like rattled, but it's like Holden tries to respond to that point, and then the cab driver's just like, yeah, exactly, and he just drives off, and the conversation just ends. And I guess I sort of wondered if Holden's perspective and like the sticking point that he's on kind of comes from having this like contradiction of nature in his life, or like this, you know, it feels like that's like so many people who don't like go through a kind of tragedy like that, I think it's easy for them to say, he's like, yeah, the fish wouldn't just die, that'd be fucking crazy. But
yeah,
it's like, but people do just die, and fish do just die,
Mm-hmm.
and anything can just die, you know. And Holden's aware of that on like this deep level, but in a way that he can't articulate, or that like he hasn't really expressed or fully understood. And I kind of think that's why there's this, the cab driver and Holden cannot see eye to eye. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. That's it. I have
No,
nothing
no,
else
I think
to say about the cab driver.
no, I think that's a smart. It's a good thought. I mean, I think you're right. I never kind of you know, I didn't get that far. I didn't look into his questioning that far, but I think you're absolutely right. I think it's a part of it's part of his process. Like he's still unraveling these like traumatic moments in his life, and trying to process, why did this happen to my brother? Why does this happen to me? Um, what's the meaning of it? What's the meaning behind these things? And he doesn't overtly ask those questions or talk about them, but I think, I mean, I do think that there are little tells throughout each interaction he has with people, where he is kind of like subconsciously trying to process all of these things.
Yes.
Yeah. I that is one of the impressions I've gotten reading the book, is that he's just still trying to come to terms with his brother's passing, and just has not had the support structure that he needed to cope.
Yes. And I think when you lay it out there like that, and consider everything that Holden says and how he acts and what he thinks and what he does, we'll see how things pan out. But I kind of think from that perspective, you know, I would say the plot of this book is, how do you navigate the passing of a loved one, and like
How do you handle
especially
grief?
in a very traumatic or tragic kind of way. Yeah, because it's like, you know, this book, everything, I think you could essentially connect everything that's happened back to Allie. And so even when it feels like nothing's happening, I think maybe Salinger's trying to like, you know, more honestly portray what it's like to be in mourning, and to have it be like all encompassing, but but I think in a very true way, where it's not like, oh, you're crying all the time, or like you can't do anything else, but it's like everything that you do, whether you realize it or not, is kind of informed by that. And I think that's like where the mundanity of everything that Holden's doing is like, it gets like this new sort of light to it, because we're getting a fuller picture of like his backstory and what's happened to him. And so it's like, oh yeah, for anyone else, they might just be going out to Ernie's, to go to a club or whatever. But it's like, for Holden, it's like he can't. It's probably why he can't sleep, and it's why he needs to always talk to someone. And obviously, it's why he says he's always depressed and why he wants to kill himself. And he's just trying to find some sign of like connection and stability, and he just doesn't have that. It's why he's flunking out of school. I don't know how to articulate it in a more succinct way, but I think that so far what this book is trying to do is to show what like a day-to-day life is like, in like the desperation of someone's passing, even if it's been several years.
Yeah.
What about I know there's a lot of things, but maybe just jumping off that point, what about Holden being so depressed? In this section of the book, I really noticed more and more how often he says it. And I know that he said it in the previous sections as well, but he keeps saying like, oh, seeing someone with bad suitcases next to someone who has a really nice suitcase makes me depressed as hell, and shit like that. And then, of course, after he gets punched by Maurice, he just says, he's like, I literally want to kill myself. I mean, what do you make of that? And what do you think about how Holden feels? And is it all just Allie, or is it something else? I'm just wondering about that.
I mean, it's not all just Allie. I think, I mean, he probably has like clinical depression or something, like,
Yep.
and I mean, yeah, like, a lot of it's environmental, and he's just a very misunderstood person who, yeah, I mean, uh feels, you know he's an outsider. He doesn't feel that connection he needs, and doesn't nobody around him, like we've said a bunch of times, is equipped to deal with that. He can't even really verbalize what he mean. I mean, like, would he even tell somebody he feels suicidal? Uh,
Was that even socially acceptable back in the 50s?
yeah, I mean, almost definitely not. I mean, uh, he might not even think it's a serious thing. Like, he kind of thinks these thoughts so nonchalantly that it just seems like this is normal to him. This is part of his experience.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I think it is. It's quite serious, and I think like these are things that just like get pile up and until you're older, and then at a certain point there's a breaking point, and then that's when something would happen, when some action would be taken. Or but yeah, I think it's a mixture of like his brother's passing, which does contribute to his feeling like an outsider and his being unable to thrive in school environments and socially and stuff. But I don't think that's all that there is to. That's not the only issue, because it is true that people, even if some people just need more support than others, and uh, maybe he is a little bit resentful that that DB was able to kind of thrive after Allie's passing, and move on in life, and he still feels stuck on the trauma too. I don't know.
Yeah, good point. Um, it's like I wonder. I feel like from Holden's perspective, and I think you're probably right that might be something that is what gets under his skin about his success, not just like, oh, the phoniness of the Hollywood Hills and all that. But I think like for Holden, he's always equating things. He'll be like, oh, if you do this, then it means you're like this or whatever. And like, if you were to read the fucking side story with DB and him trying to figure out being in Hollywood, he might be just as depressed as Holden, even though he's obviously like he's got a hotshot job and all that, like and I'm not sure that Holden stops to consider things like that. It doesn't seem like it. Josh, anything to add in terms of like Holden's constant references to his state of depression? I only kind of ask, we even talked about this in the first episode a bit, where it's like I get the frustration with Holden as a character, so I'm not trying to frame it as like, oh, you should have sympathy for him. I guess I'm just wondering, like, do you?
Where's your humanity, man?
Do you? Right, we have all this empathy for the world. Come on, what about for Holden? I'm just being an ass. But like, do you think about how that may inform his actions at all? Or like, I don't know. I guess I'm wondering, does that factor into your frustration with? Does that make sense? Do you see what I'm like trying to ask? I feel like I'm doing a bad
I think
job.
so. I don't think his depression is what's causing me not to connect with him.
Of course, and I would not.
Yeah, no,
not what I'm trying to insinuate either. So
it's probably the most easy to recognize trait of his right now that I can at least wrap my head around and understand. Because a lot of his action, it's the impulsiveness and the how do I explain this? It's his impulsiveness and his unwillingness to follow through on discipline or to just go off and fuck himself up one way or another.
Or to fuck someone else.
Well, I actually know that he does understand consent and is very much needs the emotional connection with somebody. He for all his talk, he's not the kind of person who would just do like a one night stand. We see that he tries and he's like, no, this is not working for me.
He wishes he was, but he could never be that way. He's a demisexual. If he was around today and he was on Tinder, his profile would be a demisexual.
But obviously, come on, he wouldn't use Tinder.
No, he would hate Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might reluctantly fire up the app every once in a while, then like delete it.
Yeah.
He might be more into Hinge. That's more of a
maybe
profile thing, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, his depression is. I don't know if I really have anything to add on it. It's just part of his character, and it's not what's irritating me.
Right. So let's talk about what's irritating you, because I think that's more interesting. We're talking about impulsiveness and
his thought process. Yeah. His thought process also, which is also like the style of writing in this book, that also irks me. So I feel like I'm blowing it out of proportion when I say this irks me. It's like I'm reading the book. It's not like I hate the book. It's like I'm frustrated by the repetition we've gone over so many times. Like, he repeats himself all the time.
Josh, you're repeating yourself.
I know. I realized that as I said it.
Hilarious.
He's just, he doesn't think at the level that I want him to think at. He's not accepting feedback from mentors that he actually respects to some degree, and when he realizes that they're trying to give him feedback and guidance, he starts to respect them less. At least that's how it appeared to me when he visited that professor at the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know
you
if
could
that's
instantly
true.
you could tell when his opinion of someone changes, because he starts
I think
immediately
he's
describing
just
all the negative things about him, and
yeah.
it's not that he hates that person. It's
No.
that that is his way of deciding that he's done with the conversation, is to just start hating this person.
Well, no, that I think he is done with the conversation. It's not about respecting people less. I mean, he's very nitpicky, and I mean, even he feels bad in trying to remove him from the conversation. Like,
Well, it's not just that. It's like
I
when
don't
he
know if
starts
it's
talking to Ackley,
respecting
it's
them
like,
less.
no, it's, I don't know if it's that, like overall, like every time he talks to somebody and decides to start hating them, like his overall respect for them goes down. It's like it's a moment by moment thing where he decides he's done, so he just starts finding all the tiny little things about this person that annoys him, and then gets caught up in that loop, and that causes him to just want to leave. And it's, I really don't like that in particular.
Well, that's true. I don't think that has much to do with respect. I think that's just a personality defect on his end. Because I think he maintains, especially for that professor, I think he maintains respect for like what he's trying to do
That's right.
throughout.
Yeah, I think you're focusing on a misspeak. I used respect as a like a pathway to where I was trying to get there. It's not necessarily exactly the, like, his overall respect towards these people. But in a way, it is disrespectful in the way he's thinking of them. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't.
So it's his tendency to just start finding all the negative things about this person as a way of distracting himself from what could be a constructive conversation and continuing his spiral down into his depression. That really irks me.
Yeah, maybe. I think that
I do
happens.
also. Sorry, I'll let you speak. I have a note I want to try to wedge in here, but you go ahead first.
Okay. Well, I was just going to ask, because I think you're right that there's instances where Holden will, I think, as you were saying, like focus on like negative things to try to get out of a conversation. But I guess what I was gonna go to the conversation that he has with the girl who likes DB, his brother. And Holden thinks that she's only trying to talk to him because she still likes DB, and DB's a Hollywood hotshot, and if they have a conversation, he'll put in a good word for her. Holden immediately feels like the only reason this conversation is happening is because he's being used to that end. And so he tries to get out of the conversation immediately. The reason I want to bring that up is it's not just those instances where like a character like the professor, who I think has Holden's best interest at heart, is like trying to help him. Like I felt like I had a different point I was trying to make, but I was bringing this up really just to be like, I think that, you know, Holden is just like disengaging completely. And I don't think it's just a matter of like, you know, with people he has respect for or not. And I know that wasn't your main point, Josh. It's like, but I guess it's just interesting the ways in which like Holden just like hits the eject button all the time, and yet
it's the only button he pushes.
Right. But he also is like always trying to initiate conversations. Like with the girl, he doesn't, but with like everyone else, he's always like, oh yeah, I want to get a drink with me, or like he's just trying to chat people up. And then it'll like reach a point where Holden's like, I have to get the fuck out of here. Like,
and he reaches that very quickly, and that's something that bothers me as a person who usually does get fed up with like groups of people very quickly. I am very close to. I am definitely on the introverted side of introvert extrovert. Not like hard needle over to introvert, but like enough for large groups of people for a long time without being able to like remove myself for recharging. Like I get that, but his is like almost instant, and that switch over doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
I do also have this one note that I had at the end of the reading where I was just kind of laying on the couch. I was thinking about. I knew we'd get into a conversation like this during this podcast because I have been pretty vocal, half jokingly, but also half not. Of like I'm not connecting with this book the way I think I should be, and like the both of you are, and one of the ideas that I had as to why that may be, which I'm not sure if I'm fully on board with it. Sorry, my light went off. Now that 2 days have passed, but when I was reflecting on these chapters and what I could remember the chapters we had read up to this point, my note is so far this is Holden's list of rambling grievances with people.
Yeah.
And that's all this seems to be, aside from like the small little sparks of action, which is his fight with Stradlater and getting shaken down by Sonny and Maurice. Everything else has just been him wandering through life, or rather through Saturday, just running into random people, trying to talk to them, and not connecting, and airing his grievances with the reader and his own thoughts.
Yeah. Josh, you said that Holden would be into music before if he was. Yeah, absolutely, he would love the Smiths. He'd be like the fucking.
Oh my god!
Smiths
Yes,
fan.
yes.
When
His
you
whole
put
life,
it like
Connor. His whole life would be like that, like 2-year period you had.
that. Yeah, for real. I just wanted to kick everyone in the eye, dude.
Yeah.
But no, yes, Josh, yes. I guess what I'm wondering is, okay, so you're saying that might be a reason why you're not connecting with the book as much as us, and it's like, what does that say about us? Like, Connor, do we just go through life and
I know I've had an easier life than most.
Wait, sorry. What's the question? Would you ask, Connor?
I'm just being a smarmy ass. That's all. I was just making. Josh was saying, "Oh, I think." He's like, this might be a contributing factor to why I'm not connecting with the book as much as the two of you, meaning us. And
yeah, no, I think it's. I honestly think it boils down to all three. Like we're just different kinds of neurodivergent.
We're different neurospices.
Yes, yeah. I really think that's what it is.
I'm salt.
Josh is salt. I am
nutmeg.
Nutmeg, of course.
I was gonna say pepper, like red pepper.
No, I'm nutmeg because if you take a lot of me, you get really high. And Connor is paprika.
I was gonna say what's the one that tastes like soap or something else?
Oh, cilantro.
Cilantro, yeah.
Well,
really
I think it only.
Cilantro?
What was that?
Do you really say cilantro?
So I don't usually
Cilantro.
say the word. So
Yeah.
what I
was like the wine.
So cilantro is the spice or herb or whatever that. Oh, but certain type of people taste soap, and others for some people it tastes good, and some people it tastes soap.
Right.
It's like a weird thing. Like
So
I've had it on some dishes, and it's I have not tasted anything one way or the other.
Yeah,
so
some
I'm assuming
people, that's why some people love Connor, some people hate Connor.
Yeah. And for the record, I mean, cilantro is an herb.
Yeah. Spices and herbs are kind of in the same category, though, so I think it's fine.
They are kind of in the same category, definitely.
Yeah.
But not like
zero calories.
Okay.
That's not true.
Guys, I'm gonna interrupt this really quickly before we move on to the next part because we're gonna jump into my segment of the week.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that.
I did too until just a
All
little bit
right,
ago.
let's do it. Let's
All
open
right.
it up to a random page in JD Salinger's biography written by some motherfucker.
Yeah, Paul Alexander. Paul Alexander.
Paul
Paul
Alexander.
That's a cool name.
Portmanteau
Paul
his name.
Alexander wrote Salinger, a biography. I'm going to open up to a random page and read a short passage. Okay. Page 220. The money, of course, meant nothing to Salinger, who over the last 10 years had become nothing short of obsessive about controlling the design of his books.
That
There
you're
we go.
not even going to read any more than
No,
that?
just a sentence.
Josh,
Okay.
thoughts?
What are your thoughts?
I mean, that kind of lines up with what I've been hearing about him not caring about monetization and being more concerned with the quality of his art over the ability of it to generate money, which I can respect that.
Yeah,
He's doing he's writing for the sake of the art and not for the sake of making a classic that'll make millions.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny that Connor, like, the whole purpose of this bit is like, I'm going to open up to a random freaking part of the biography and it's like the two things that you've read so far have felt like, you know, very clear and obvious and like relevant to our discussion on Salinger so far.
That I mean, I have flipped open to random pages both times, and then I scan very quickly, and I've very quickly landed on both of those two passages. So we'll see if I can keep up the same kind of theme for the next 2 weeks. We'll see.
I will say, hearing about that, it does sort of, it feels like Salinger imbues Holden with a bit of that, because there's a part in this section where Holden talks about how bad he is with money, and you know he doesn't really care about keeping track of it. He loses it all the time. You know, he's not financially responsible in any way, despite coming from a wealthy family, or maybe because he comes from a wealthy family. And I think also, like, that whole phoniness kind of aspect, I think rings true. You know, the more we talk about Holden and the more we get these tiny little bite-sized things from the biography, random though they are, I'm starting to think that Salinger hated the fucking movies.
Yeah, actually, I mean, that's a great point, Connor. I think you're right. I mean,
art imitating life.
Are informed by life. And yeah, I guess he never warmed up to movies in his life.
And to this day, 2025, more than 3/4 of a century after this book was published, no Catcher in the Rye movie yet exists.
No.
In any official capacity.
Not until the
copyright
expires, and then we will be the ones to adapt this film.
It's gonna get adapted to some shitty ass horror movie that nobody's gonna watch except for the. Hey, did you see the Catcher in the Rye movie?
That'd be hilarious. Killer in the Rye.
Oh yeah, Killer in the Rye is great, and the killer will be Winnie the Pooh for some reason.
Yeah, and Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie. Yeah.
Dude, how long does copyright go for? Is that like 120 years or something, or?
I think it's life of the author plus
75 years or something.
75.
But that the law keeps changing. I mean, it's probably going to be changed again because, I mean, corporation, Disney. I mean, they don't want to get fucked over again like Steamboat Willie, and so I'm not expecting it to actually, you know,
Yeah.
when these things are about to expire, I expect the rules to change.
It would be crazy, like, if we get to see a Catcher in the Rye movie within our lifetimes. But
that would be crazy, yeah.
It feels like after all this time, really, it feels like it shouldn't happen.
I agree. I think it might. I mean, it could if whoever is running the Salinger estate in the future has a change of heart or has dollar signs in their eyes. You know, we'll see.
I feel like there's probably a ton of fan films that are out there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let's search YouTube Catcher in the Rye film.
I'm not
gonna... Catcher in the Rye short film.
Just do Catcher in the Rye like fan film.
Oh, yeah. There's multiple short films. Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, there's actually quite there's quite a few. There's quite a few.
Yeah.
And they all look hilarious.
And the thing is, by the way, that's what we're going to do after we finish the book. We're going to watch some of these fan films.
We 100% should. Yes.
That is what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
That is what we're going to do.
No, Josh, brilliant idea.
No.
Josh, brilliant idea.
That's what we're going to do. That's hilarious.
Oh, and there's one video that's called Reading Catcher in the Rye Until I Become an Incel.
Wow.
Oh, dear.
Pretty cool, right?
It is. I mean, I don't get that vibe from Holden, though.
No, he's not. He would hate incels.
No. Yeah, he doesn't blame women.
He understands consent.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no possible way he's an incel.
It's woke AF.
So that's a really bad read. He's gonna have to read Catcher in the Rye. You know, maybe until the end of his days. That's gonna how he's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked up that, like, you know, it's one thing to, like, you know, like, engage with a piece of art and be like, I thought something different from someone else who liked this art. Like, that's one thing. But it's another fucking thing entirely when, like, you come away from a piece of art and you're like, I think this art is about the exact opposite thing that the author intended. And it's like, what the fuck?
I had this theory before shit hit the fan back in 2015 that people were just being needlessly contrarian on the internet for the sake of being needlessly contrarian, and I hated that. And that kind of turned into the proto incel MAGA
Josh,
shit.
I've had the same thought. That's literally what this is.
Yeah.
It's all contrarianism taken to its extreme end.
Yep. Yeah, it's needless contrarianism. Like, yes, being contrarian at times is beneficial, but again, everything in moderation. And
it's people who never outgrew their like trolling, their like online trolling phase. That it just has to go further and further and further, and then that's what they become at the end of it.
Yeah,
it's 100%.
And you know that's the case because the Department of Homeland Security's official Twitter page is like posting memes about deporting people and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like the only way you get that is when the people at the highest echelon of government power are the exact fucking sniveling dweebs who were posting shit like that on 4chan back in 2010.
Well, 100%.
Yep. Absolutely. Fuck, there's one other thing I wanted to say, and it's leaving my brain. Fuck.
Sorry. Train derailed.
Yep.
Wrong junction.
Yeah. It was something about
Was it about the Catcher in the Rye fan film?
No, it was about you were saying about people coming away at the exact opposite of what the author intended.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about every fucking like AI and like military industrial complex company here that are you've been hearing about lately that are literally just named after things in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It's like, did you name the AI surveillance company after the most evil thing other than the One Ring?
The
Yeah.
Palantir, yeah.
Are you? What the fuck? Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we're big fans. It's like you are literally the like the we made the murder nexus or the torment nexus from the popular book. Don't make the torment nexus,
Yes.
and it's like you are that meme incarnate. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shit's fucked, man.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
absolutely insane. And that's, it's so fucked up because, like, people really will make art and like dedicate their lives to like making art with the hope somewhere within that process that like it can change people's opinion. And like the sick part is that no, like the dark, conclusion to all of this is, really anyone whose opinion you would want to change is still going to like your art, but they're just going to assume that it reinforces like their corrupted worldview.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we see that in all the people who are, I mean, like Green Day fans or Rage Against the Machine fans that are
Yeah.
they're like,
They're like,
no, what? Now they're raging for the machine. Like they just they interpret it in wildly different ways.
yeah, it's like,
And
who did you think the machine was, buddy?
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And I mean, going back to the main point is like I think humans have always had that kind of contrarian nature. I think the internet like really
Supercharged
shoved that into supercharged it. And if you take it to the farthest extremes, you see the people that are going around shooting people, that killing people for nihilistic like meme reasons that we've seen recently. Like it's like
Yes.
they're just because they're so detached so detached from like any kind of reality that's like all that it's just it's really
It's depressing.
it's really disturbing, really.
Dude, I'm depressed as hell. It really depresses the hell out of me. It really does.
It kills me, man. It kills
Yeah.
me.
Wow. Hey,
I mean,
so
actually, just to go off, I mean, it's talking about like it's fucked up that John Lennon was reading Catcher in the Rye when he was shot.
oh,
Was he?
dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, no, oh, fuck. Yeah, goddamn, huh?
Yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same, or something like that.
I'm sure that, I don't know. It's like, wow, it is really interesting to think of how this book is like connected to rock history. We talked about how, growing up, part of the mystique of this book was that Billy Joe from Green Day said it was his favorite book, and Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance said it was his favorite book. And as we were coming of age in 2004, when both American Idiot and Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge came out, like, to learn that little trivia fact without having read the book made this have a kind of like alluring sort of mystique. But to Billy and Gerard, who themselves, at some point in their lives were trying to get a band off the grounds, it must have also held some kind of weight that that was the book John Lennon was holding when
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of weight behind that for sure. And then also weirdly, I think John Hinckley Jr., who attempted to kill Ronald Reagan, also was like he had the Catcher in the Rye on his person.
Yeah.
So just
Oh, that's
like
weird.
a lot of weird stuff like that. I don't know.
Dude,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going to happen? And what is the rest of this book? Why are all these people reading this
Yeah.
book?
of the reason I'm still reading this is what made this so endearing or so enduring?
Yeah.
Both of those.
Holden
books.
Caulfield gets MK Ultra at the end by the FBI, and he's turned into an assassin.
There's already a scene though where Holden fantasizes about gunning
Yes,
someone down.
actually, that's a great point. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very, very true. You're right. Yeah. Oh.
So that has to be a piece of the puzzle somewhere.
Yeah. Guys, can we take a tight 2 and then finish up the last 2 chapters?
Yeah. Let's
All
do
right,
that.
Sure.
All right, BRB, folks.
They can't, like, they each have their own thing. Don't worry about it. She'll survive. My cat Sage wants to come in here, but I won't let her.
She has the zoomies.
All right, we can just jump back into it whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought there was
No,
going to be like a.
Nope, go ahead.
Wow. Okay. So we're just jumping back into a pool of cold water. Connor, are you drinking water?
I always have a cup of water with my other drinks on.
Yeah,
the
but
podcast.
it's still weird to see. What other drinks are you drinking?
Hydrogen monoxide.
Coke Zero, and I had a protein shake as well.
Oh, that's how you get your protein, huh? Oh. And Josh?
Same bottle of water.
Yeah. You got ice in there, right? It's ice cold?
No, it just came out of the refrigerator, and it's insulated, so it'll stay cold all night. But I will finish it before then.
Wow.
Nice.
He's a thirsty boy.
Very much so.
Speaking of thirsty boys, Holden's a virgin.
Yes.
Didn't he say previously that he? No, he'd always been saying it was close.
Well, no,
Never actually
he
happened.
kind of like implied.
Yeah.
Connor was wrong. Connor was wrong. He did not imply, and I said, no, he never actually says it. And Connor was like, no, but like he did. No, I knew. So Connor, here's your crow.
Well, I mean,
Eat up, buddy.
Well, Connor, here's the thing. Even when I said that, I said he's like trying to get us to believe that he's not a virgin. I didn't actually think he wasn't a virgin.
I mean,
that's
how you talked about it.
No,
Sounds like backtracking to me.
Yeah.
No, I said I think he said that he wasn't, which I think I was wrong. But because I did look through those passages. He definitely like implies that he has experience. So I mean, he never outwardly says, "Oh, I've done it with this," but he doesn't like he doesn't say, "Oh, I came close, but I didn't." Like this is when he's admitting it right now. We wouldn't have gotten this if he mentions it previously.
Yeah. He does say like, "Oh, if you really want to know."
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is one of his other things he loves to repeat.
You can play back the last episode. I said I think he says it, but I also think he's lying. I don't think he's telling the truth. That's what I said last episode.
Okay. All right. It doesn't matter.
Play back the tapes.
It really doesn't matter.
I mean, you're the one that brought it up and wanted me to eat crow.
I mean, are you hungry? Because it looks like all you've had is a protein shake. So.
No, I'm all filled up.
Did you know that crows are an excellent source of protein?
You mean protein?
I mean, that is
Sorry, it took a moment.
You know it's good. You know that you just nailed that, and I'll tell you what. I'll take back that crow. I'll take a little bite.
We can all share a little crow. It's okay.
You want to go halvesies on a crow here?
We'll go halvesies, yeah. Have a half bird.
Half a bird.
Half a bird.
It's a classic half a bird situation.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's really not. It's not that it doesn't matter that Holden hasn't had sex, but for what I want to discuss, it's kind of neither here nor there. This is really just to get us to the point of Holden and Sonny. Obviously, we have to discuss this section here where Holden comes back to the hotel. Maurice
Sorry. First, I want to talk about, we kind of squirted over him talking to the girl who knew DB in the bar.
Sure.
I just quickly
Oh, yeah.
want to. The only note that I took was well, actually, I took 2 notes, but the best note I took was
two big notes, right?
2 small, very small,
Okay.
inconsequential notes. But
Sorry,
the
go
most important one was Commander Blop.
Oh,
Got it.
dude, yes.
Yeah.
Focus.
Yes.
Hell
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Commander Blop.
I see
Commander
it
Blop.
there.
Yeah.
I see. I mean, that is pretty fucking funny.
That was fucking. Yeah, that was perfect.
That was actually one that made me laugh.
Yeah. All right, that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Wait, I thought you said 2 small notes.
Oh no, I think I don't think no, the second one came later, I think.
Oh, you don't mean 2 notes in that chapter. You mean you have
No,
one
no.
more note too.
Through the
Okay, yeah.
the entire section.
Yeah, Commander Blop was definitely really funny.
That was a good one.
I do like Holden's whether he's right or not, he's like, oh man, you could tell that she doesn't want to talk to me and she's blocking up traffic, and you can tell that she likes blocking up traffic, and you can tell that the waiter doesn't like her at all because he has to get through, and you can even tell that Commander Blop there doesn't like her at all. And like, again, I have to say, I've been in situations where you can pick up on that, where it's like, you can just tell that, everyone fucking hates this person. What are we doing here? But of course, like, you cannot point that out. And so to have Holden's like internal monologue constantly going and commenting on that fact while they're having a conversation, I thought was like very entertaining and very relatable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else about that chapter. What happens here? Yeah,
I mean,
all my notes on this chapter were actually from the cab driver. I was like, what
yeah,
I was thinking?
well, he somehow has 3 drinks there. He somehow is there long enough to have 3 drinks, he says. And then he walks home. He walks home and he's like, "Oh, I'll stop at another bar and have another," which he doesn't end up going into that bar because he
Right.
I forget why he walks away, but
because someone stumbles out and asks for directions. And
oh
he
yes,
thinks that their breath stinks, and so
yeah,
he's like, he doesn't want to go in anymore.
And it's probably like what, like it's like 3:30 in the morning or something now.
Yeah.
Really late.
And that's another. It's like, Holden has a moment in this section where he's like, oh, I could really hold my drink. Like, there was this time where me and this kid from the Wooten school got a bottle of scotch and we drank it together, and he was stinking drunk, but like I held it all cool, like, and I threw up at the end of the night, but only because I felt like it, only because I made myself. I didn't even have to. And it's like these constant little reminders of this being told by Holden himself. And so it's like, that just cannot be true, and it keeps making me wonder, like, how drunk is he? How many drinks has he really had? Is that why he agrees to have Sonny come to his room? Because he does it so nonchalantly for someone who hasn't gone all the way. He's like, oh yeah, send her up to my room. You know what I mean?
He says it's nonchalant, but yeah.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, just the fact that he agrees to it at all, like,
yeah,
it's a little bit. Josh said before that if anything,
impulsive.
Holden might be on hinge. He might be on hinge. He might be. But let me tell you, his behavior in this section is unhinged.
Unhinged. Absolutely. I mean, this is like Craigslist behavior.
Dude, Holden might like Craigslist.
He might be in the what was this, the section on Craigslist? The section where people were like, oh, I want like
classifieds?
Oh, come over and watch me bathe or something.
Yeah.
The classifieds.
The Crazy Craig section.
Yeah, Crazy Craig section. That's it.
I don't know. I don't know.
After the Craigslist killer, they took that section down, I think. But
Yeah. Yeah, well, most people don't. I feel like Facebook Marketplace really swallowed up Craigslist a lot too.
yeah, do people sell themselves on Facebook Marketplace?
There are probably people who have tried.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
back to the hotel.
Okay, sure. Oh, wait, no, Ernie's. When you talked about Ernie's, I did want to say one thing. It was
Yeah.
that.
You're like, where's Bert?
Oh man, we are having fun tonight, baby.
Yeah, we are.
I tell you what, Ernie would never make Bert eat crow. Bert would make Ernie eat crow, but Ernie would never make Bert eat crow ever.
Yeah, agreed.
I just said Bernie on accident too, by the way, and never realized that was a combination of Bert and Ernie for sure.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that was
No, that's where it came from.
okay.
What I was gonna say about old Ernie's here is
Wait,
that
Connor, sorry. Are you saying that Bernie Sanders is a love child of Bert and Ernie?
yeah, no, yes. I thought that was obvious. I wasn't even gonna elaborate.
Wow, revelation,
I
mind
thought
blown. I think Josh is frozen because he didn't react to that at all, and I know he would have.
No,
I thought it was so
let that roll by me.
obvious.
Where's your humanity, man?
Yeah, where's your all that empathy you were talking about before?
Okay,
All right.
Ernie's.
What I was gonna say was, this is me talking like Holden now. What I was gonna say was, Holden kind of has this pattern of also like no matter how much someone bothers him, he always says like I felt sorry for them. But something about the way that he says he felt sorry for Ernie kind of struck me, and he says it because he feels like like Ernie performing, it's almost like Ernie is too good and he's like doing too many flourishes for the sake of the crowd. And Holden has like this moment where he's like, if I was, a piano player and I was incredible at piano, no one would know I played. I would not perform in front of anybody.
I would play in a closet, he says.
Yeah.
There it is.
And it's crazy because I feel like what's one of the things that I find interesting about Holden is I think there's times where his insane kind of attitude gets it right. And then it's like, what's even the value in being right if it's at like the detriment of being able to live day to day? And it's like, yes, the nature of performing as a musician in order to make money, like, is inherently performative. And it's like, I think Holden is correctly identifying the ways in which like a performance can influence or inhibit artistic expression. But like, he never really thinks about how it could enhance it either, and things like that. And I don't know. I guess this is one of those things. I don't have a point, but it is something I took a note of. And I just felt like the way that Holden felt sorry for Ernie was kind of funny. And I don't think he's completely wrong. And it kind of also feels a little bit like Salinger from the random bits we've taken from the biography, which is insane to pull because it's 2 lines and they're random. But like still, it kind of paints this picture of Salinger being this like bizarro fucking recluse who's not trying to make any money and he's just trying to make art. Leave me alone. And so it's like, wouldn't Salinger also kind of hate Ernie? And like he writes that into Holden a bit. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's it.
No, I think you're spot on.
Okay, let's get to the whole thing that we really want to talk about. This was one of the things that I alluded to when we started reading. I said I remembered like 2 things from Catcher in the Rye. One of those things was Sunny, the prostitute. I remembered her name. I remembered she was a prostitute. I thought this was going to be a much larger section of the book. I thought this was going to turn into the plot of the book.
When did you read this? Like, what age were you when you first read this?
I think I think I would have been in 8th or 9th grade. I
Yeah.
think we're talking about the end of middle school or the beginning of high school.
So it makes a lot of sense why this would stay in your mind, and why this would be one of the major sticking points. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and deny that. You know, I'm going to sit here and confirm that.
There's nothing wrong with that. We were all, horny little toads back then.
So, anyways, this section, Connor, you read it when you were younger than me. Why don't you start us off here, huh?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think I was like at a pre-horn dog stage when I read this. Honestly, I don't think I was. I was in 6th grade, so I think that was like really before the full effect of the hormones took me.
Yeah.
So I did remember this section, but not like quite as vividly or as strongly as you seem to have. There were other things in the book.
I didn't use those exact words, but but go on.
There were other things in the book that really stuck in my mind more than this. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, first off, like, we encourage, as a hotel worker, we disencourage our elevator men from doing this, especially if they're underage, especially if the customers are underage.
Right.
So I was like, wow, Maurice, this guy is, if he gets caught, that's it.
I mean, I don't. Back in the 50s, I'm not so sure about that. But.
Well, I don't know. It depends on the management, but
yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, it's funny because it kind of happens in a blur for Holden. Like, we're like, how drunk is he at this point? Probably pretty buzzed, at the very least, and so he just kind of like accepts this offer, like, without even really thinking about it. But also, he kind of does want I don't know. It's like one of the things where like he wants it to happen, but like hasn't thought through the implication or like thought through what, like, really the action of what's going to happen. And so when Sonny makes it to his room, he's like, wait, no, actually, no, I don't want this at all. I'm so sorry. And he's just kind of signed up for more than he can deal with. And I don't know. It's then obviously there's it, and this is such a George Costanza thing where he stubbornly refuses to pay the extra $5 because he's like, no, you told me $5, so I'm not going to pay you this. And until he gets fucking, the shit beat out of him, he stands his ground and like just refuses. It doesn't matter how hurt he gets. The same thing with what happened with Stradlater too. It's he's a very stubborn person, and obviously, like, yeah, it's not right to shake down somebody who I mean, paid for something that didn't end up even happening. So, but I don't know. It was just, it really shows a lot about who he is. I mean, but I mean, both things do. The fact that he didn't go through with it, that he was like, we can just talk. I want to sit down and talk with you. I would rather do that. Like, he wants company, really. He wants company. So I think he was really more interested in talking with Sonny. She had no interest in that, really.
Yeah, I thought that conversation, there was going to be a conversation there, and then this is right where I was starting to think, like, this is the story of stuff that almost happens, because he almost had a conversation with her. He almost had sex with her.
Yeah.
None of that happened. She just leaves after he gives her $5. It's like, all right, I guess that's done and over with. And then like, oh no, they came back and they actually shook him down for an extra $5.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah. So
clearly the
I
racket.
mean, both that wanting the conversation more than the physical experience, and also Holden just being so steadfast and stubborn in his beliefs or his just not wanting to pay out. I mean, that is the character of Holden Caulfield. You know, I don't know. It's and then you get into the whole fantasy aspect of gunning Maurice down, and it's like there's a lot there. I don't know.
Yeah. Josh, what do you make of this whole section, huh?
I mean, I think Connor hit most of the salient points. He's lonely and kind of walked himself into a corner here by just accepting what Maurice was offering. And I mean, I was still trying to figure out, like, what do they mean by, like, the code he was using? What was it, shot or
Like what was it?
$5 per what was it?
I don't know, like a tumble or a throw, wasn't it?
A throw, right? Yeah, and I was still trying to figure out what that meant until they said 15 a night. It's like, oh, this is a prostitute thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just another instance where I would have had completely different reactions to what was going on here. I wouldn't even be in the situation in the first place. But, like, how would you react if you walked into an elevator and the elevator guy is just like, "Hey, you want to buy a prostitute?" And it's like,
Josh, you're saying that you would rather do the full night?
I'm saying I would say no.
Oh, okay.
But he's also saying he wouldn't even be in the situation in which an elevator operator would ask him.
Yeah, Josh, he's
Right.
he's anti-elevator. Josh would take the stairs, of course.
I'd take the elevator up. I'm more likely to take the stairs down if it's not more than like 4 or 5 floors.
I mean, honestly, this is what we lost by not having elevator operators anymore.
Yes, very true. What a damn shame.
I think there should still be a guy in every elevator who just operates it for you.
But I like pushing the button, though.
Well, that's why it should be someone's job.
No, Josh is saying that he likes pushing the button himself.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
Oh, okay. So maybe if there was, then that could be Josh's job.
Josh could be an elevator.
Josh would be the elevator operator.
Yeah.
I'm not liking where this conversation is going.
And he would ask people if they wanted Sonny to go up to the room.
Do you think like back in the 50s, like was this a career? Was this, this guy?
Yeah. Well, no, he had to
middle aged.
He had to moonlight as a pimp, so it probably didn't pay enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
To sustain himself.
Was there like an elevator operator union? Like what's
maybe.
There's got to be some places where they still have people operate the old timey elevators.
Yeah, like Tower of Terror at Disney.
Yes, and the Grand Budapest Hotel.
The Grand Budapest Hotel. Yeah.
It's another.
Owen Wilson frequents that spot, I think.
I'm not sure he does, but all right.
Luke Wilson.
So this section here.
Bill Murray. Okay.
Are you just naming people who you think are
in that movie?
Wes
Yes.
Anderson movies. Okay.
Yes.
It's not Bill Murray.
Well, he's in Wes Anderson movies.
He is, but not in the Grand Budapest.
I mean, he might have made a cameo. When's the last time you fucking watched that movie, man?
It's been a while. It has been a while, Connor.
Your memory is shot. Don't give me. Don't pretend to know everyone who's in the movie.
But listen. Bill Murray is not in every Wes Anderson movie, and I'm pretty damn sure he is not in the Grand Budapest
Oh
Hotel.
my god, dude, he's literally on the fucking poster.
Come on.
He's literally on the fucking
You're fucking
poster.
with me. You're fucking
No.
with me. Bill Murray. And are you sure you didn't look up The Life Aquatic?
No.
Oh my god. Come on.
You're so certain. You're so certain. It's like you're one of those people on YouTube we see who's comments and they're just so
don't say
confidently
that. Oh my
wrong.
God.
Look, dude, look at this.
How are you sharing this with me? What?
Right there, Bill Murray
Hold on a second.
with the mustache.
I see Jude Law. I see
Yep.
Adrian Brody. These
Right
names
next to
make
Jude
sense
Law.
me.
Middle row,
These
third
names
from the
make
right,
sense to me.
third from the left.
Oh my god. He's barely in the fucking movie, that guy. Who even is that?
What does that matter? He's barely in the movie.
God. Okay.
When's the last time you watched the fucking movie?
Connor, have you ever even
Yes.
seen it? The Grand
Yes.
Budapest Hotel?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big Wes. I'm a moderate Wes Anderson fan.
I'm a moderate Wes Anderson fan.
I watch them when they come out. I like them.
Did you see Asteroid City?
Yeah, that was the one before this current one, right? Or
What's the current one?
it was one that came out a couple months ago.
A couple months ago.
Yeah.
A new Wes Anderson movie? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I liked Asteroid City, but I liked the French Dispatch or whatever because it had Timmy Chalamet in it.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of a crazy age gap sort of thing going on there.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
See, I
Cora.
remember Wes Anderson movies.
Connor tried to convince me that Bill Murray wasn't in the
Oh
Grand
my
Budapest
God.
Hotel.
Oh my fucking god.
He is in that movie. He's on the fucking poster.
Okay. Did she say is he in it or not? Was she also unsure? Connor, be honest with me. It sounds like she was unsure.
Yeah, yeah, she was unsure, but I showed her, and she was like, "Oh yeah."
I think we need to get back on topic.
We do.
I think so too.
Josh, have you ever seen a Wes Anderson movie?
I don't think so.
You wouldn't like them.
I think Josh would like Isle of Dogs.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, okay.
That's animated, right?
It is. It's stop motion.
I think I've seen some gifs with that.
Yeah.
I don't like kids movies.
I'll tell you who's in it. Edward Norton.
No, I love dogs. Have you seen that one? She says it's good.
To us. I was like, why is he saying these words?
She says it's not as interesting as Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I haven't seen Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Connor hasn't seen that one.
And I haven't seen Asteroid City.
Wait, you haven't seen Asteroid City?
No.
Oh, that was good.
No. Okay, I'm sorry.
Cora,
Oh my God.
What's the one that just came out a couple months ago? The new one. We didn't see it, I know, but do you remember what it was called? She doesn't. It's okay. We can move on. It's fine.
Yeah, we've been trying for like 2 minutes.
All right. Okay, that was a fun.
Yeah.
If anyone, hey, if you know what the new fucking Wes Anderson movie is, no one here is gonna look it up. So please.
No, I'm gonna look it up right now. Actually.
Oh my God.
Oh
So
yeah.
actually,
it's the Phoenician Scheme. With
Bill Murray.
Benicio del Toro.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean Bill Murray is in it. Yes.
Got it. And the guy from The Last Jedi.
Bill Murray plays God.
Of course he does.
And Michael Cera is in it.
Okay,
right.
well, we're here to discuss a book.
Michael Cera, a younger Michael Cera would play a good Holden Caulfield.
No.
Could you imagine Michael Cera playing Holden Caulfield like if it was like a 2009 indie comedy film?
I swear, God really might be real because I think we were spared the copyright running out during that time from divine intervention somehow.
Oh, it would have been so bad. It would have just JD Salinger would be rolling in his grave. Actually, I think he was still alive at that point, but he would be rolling in his grave.
Really? When did he die? Connor, you're looking all this shit up. When did JD Salinger
Yeah,
die?
I remember when he died.
You do? Really?
Well,
Wow.
I remember when it 2010. So yeah,
Like when it happened. Wow.
Oh wow.
So he would have been still
How old was
alive if
he?
it was 09. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
How old was he?
He was 91. 91 years old.
That's a long life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was
So-
like in his 30s when he wrote this.
If
Or
he
40s.
died when in 2012 or 2010, and we were talking about copyright law extending after the author's death, to me that kind of signals that I'm not sure that we actually will live to see a Catcher in the Rye movie. I do not think that'll be in our lifetime if things stay the way they are.
I'm gonna look it up. Copyright expire.
All right, while you do that, I actually did have a note about Sonny.
Copyright if copyright for works created on or after January 1978 lasts for the author's life plus 70 years.
But this was before.
Yes. Yeah. The duration varies. You can define specific details in Chapter 3 of the Copyright Act. All right.
Connor, you're obviously
we're not
reading
doing
the
that.
AI overview.
Want me to do you want me to dive deeper in AI mode?
What?
No. No. Just no.
All right, guys, we need to move on.
Oh my god. Okay. Connor,
Wait,
Josh
sorry.
was about to read
Published
a note.
between 1929 and 1977, the term is generally 95 years from the publication date.
So that would be like 2045.
So we could,
Yeah.
if that's true,
95 years. Oh no, this was 50s, right?
if that still holds, then we could see an adaptation.
If that still holdens, then maybe circa 2045, when we are all circa 50-ish.
Yep.
Connor, wait. She holding on my caulfield till I catch her in the rye.
What?
Oh.
Yeah. Call me Catcher in the Rye because she holding on my caulfield.
Okay. Anyways, Josh, as you were saying.
Wow. Yeah. No, Josh. Please go on. You have the floor.
So I actually had two notes that I wanted to get to. One is just a quick little thing I had about Sonny. The other was something we haven't really talked about yet. But
All right.
so one thing I will give Salinger credit for is that he really knows how to write people's accents really well, and I can really hear their voices through the text. And because I'm currently watching Batman the Animated Series in my free time, Sonny just had Harley Quinn's voice the whole time. Yep. But Maurice did not sound like the Joker to me at all. So it was just like, okay, Sonny's Harley Quinn in my head, and I just had to write that down.
Wait, so, that's like some people call me Maurice. Right? I'm a Joker. I'm a smoker.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
maybe he is a Joker.
You are just full of references, dude. You are a fucking compendium.
Yeah, I can't help it tonight. I don't know. It's that protein drink.
Maybe not. Don't do that for future podcasts, please.
It makes me strong.
I don't know if I like protein, Connor. I feel
not
like
for podcasting.
You need more.
I need a downer.
No, what's that?
Yeah, it's starting to get very time machine.
Wow, and that's
not directed to Connor Kelly.
That's not good. I know he's not even talking about me. He's talking about you.
Protein man. All right. Anyways, proceed.
What's that called though? That chemical?
Anti-protein.
No. But it is aspartame. You need
more
aspartame
I mean, I'm drinking Coke Zero right now, so I do have a fair share of aspartame in my system.
I know, but the protein bonds with it.
Oh, you think that's it? It's the combination of the two chemicals.
Yeah.
Okay.
The protein bonds with it.
That makes sense. Huh.
Wait, who had a note? You were Josh.
I did.
Definitely Josh.
Josh, please go. You do have one more note. I didn't forget.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
So he in the first chapter that we read, 11, he's going on and on about Jane, and I just get into the end of this chapter. It's like after he's describing everything, like up until this point, all we knew about Jane is that she liked to keep her kings at the back of the checkerboard, and now it's just like we go through this whole chapter. It's like, you fucking moron! She liked you, and you liked her, and nothing happened because you just sabotaged yourself again. And it was like clearly they were starting to go somewhere, but he let it fall apart.
Fuck. He also fantasizes about her in his little revenge fantasy, too.
Yes.
He says like she'll comfort me. She'll comfort me after I mow down this pimp.
She was gonna come to the hotel and like bandage him in the bed.
Yeah.
And hold his cigarette.
Yeah.
Good old 1950s opinions on women.
I mean, this, it's a weird one because it is like it's like Holden is like misogynistic, but also
like he does understand consent.
Yes, he's also like woke for the
page 120
the age too, but he does call a lot of women ugly.
Yeah, on page 120 is going on. The thing is, most of the time when you're coming pretty close to doing it with a girl that isn't a prostitute or anything, I mean, she keeps telling you to stop. The trouble with me is I stop. Most guys don't. I can't help it. And it's like, okay, that's consent. He understands that part at least. But that's things were kind of screwy back then.
Sort of. He seems to think that because he stops, there's something wrong with him.
Yeah, which I think probably was a real sentiment back then, right? Like,
yeah.
Which is how we kind of got into the terrible, toxic, masculine era that we did, because it was a sign of weakness or whatever to,
Yes. And I don't know. It is weird to think about what the societal norms would have or may have been in the 50s for casual dating and premarital sex, though, because at that time it would have been more proper for a woman to be chaste until marriage.
Yep. I mean, a lot of the stop, but they do it anyway stuff sounds very much like the hard to get game, which was more prevalent back then, I feel.
I mean, I think it did. I think it existed very much in the same way it does today, but people just didn't talk about it or didn't admit it in polite circles.
Yeah.
And also, it's depends on their religion as well, right? Like, and Holden did a whole thing about he did a whole 5-minute bit about Catholics. so that certainly plays a part.
I also want to add, whenever he's talking about anyone in the backseat of a car or something, for some reason I'm just imagining Back to the Future, because there's the scene with Biff and Marty's mom in the car, and it's just, for some reason, that's what I have in my head whenever they're talking about that in this book.
Yeah,
it's about the same era. So,
Josh, would you believe I've never seen Back to the Future?
No, I would not believe that.
I've never seen any Back to the Future movie.
But he has seen the Broadway play.
Not true either.
I'm trying to remember your reaction to the Lego DeLorean that I have in my living room the last time you were here.
I might have
to call your bullshit.
Oh my god, I love it! I love that movie.
I'm not
I've
kidding.
Watched it 5 times.
I'm not
but
kidding.
I can't remember that far back.
I'm not kidding. I've never seen Back to the Future.
Josh, he's fucking with you. Just want to let you know.
I am not. I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
We've watched it together.
No, we did not.
We've watched it together multiple times.
No, Connor. No, we have not. You are not going to fucking gaslight me into thinking I've seen Back to the Future. Look at you. You are fucking devious.
I'm fucking with you,
Yeah.
man.
And you're
They're good
counting
movies.
on my bad memory. I know you are. But I know if
No,
I haven't seen something. Come on.
I'm not trying to trick you. I'm trying to trick Josh into thinking that you've seen it.
Well, I almost
I
fell
mean, I can tell his reaction's fairly
You said
genuine
you
right
almost
now.
fell for it. You were like, "Wait, have I seen it?"
Would recommend them. They're good movies. Good 80s movies.
Yeah, they are good. Yeah, they are.
Maybe we'll watch them sometime, just for fun.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Holden and being with women and consent, and it's like it does feel like a strange mixed bag, because I do think that, like, ultimately it feels like like you could kind of equate it to consent and Holden having like more emotional understanding and like respect for women's autonomy, and I think that's all there. But I do kind of think that there's I don't know. I think it's wrapped up in a lot of bizarre kind of stuff, and especially like being as young as he is, he seems to think that, you know, Holden's very concerned with being mature.
Most kids his age are.
Yeah, he always thinks that he's like more mature than everyone else, and I think that he's, you know, feels like maybe he should have had sex, and yet, you know, to me that seems kind of crazy. And I think that he's kind of like pressured himself into thinking like it should have happened or whatever, or he's like, oh, I've had these opportunities and it doesn't happen because of like this and this.
I think that's one of the more normal things that he's felt as a 16-year-old.
I don't mean that it's abnormal, but it's one of those things that like you get clarity on as you like age out of that.
Yeah.
That, you know, like portion of your life, and like realize that it's really not. It's not about anything being normal or not normal. It's that the pressure to like have done something like that at a certain point is like the thing that is the illusion, you know?
Totally. Yeah, and I mean, it shows how young he actually is.
Yes. And so it's like crazy. It's going back to Sonny. It's crazy that he's like, oh yeah, you know, he just says yes. And he's like, oh, well, maybe I'll just get practice for like when I'm married someday or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
that was a very 50s line in my head.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This whole thing, you know what I wanted to say was, Holden also talks about in this section how he's yellow. He's a coward. He's, you know, and then when Maurice shows up, Holden doesn't back down. He stands his grounds on the point that Maurice only said $5. And according to the text, Maurice really does say $5. Of course, there's the caveat that maybe Holden is unreliable in some way. Maybe he misheard, and regardless of what we're reading, it's not true to, you know, what we see. We're getting his stream of consciousness. But from what we read, it seems like Holden is in the right. And Holden, believing that he's right, does not just roll over and give the $5. And so another thing that I think Holden has like this pressure on himself for, that is like undue, and doesn't even give himself credit for the things that he actually is accomplishing, is that he's not yellow at all. I mean, imagine if a fucking elevator doorman pimp fucking busted down your hotel door and asked for $5. I promise you, I would give it to him, no questions asked. And
I mean, $5 today is also I mean, that's closer to like $50.
I don't care. I would give him $50. I would give him $500.
Just don't.
Anything to avoid what is currently going on in this room. I would
Yeah.
avoid it completely. And Holden, who considers himself a coward, stands up to this man to the point of being punched in the gut. You know?
I think to him the cowardice is not fighting back.
Yes.
In his mind, he's yellow because he doesn't sock Maurice in the face, or he doesn't, you know, let all hell break loose on Stradlater, you know.
Yes.
So, but yeah, no, I think you're right. Like he stands his ground. I don't think he is a coward in the common definition of the word.
I agree.
But that's another one of the things in his mind where he thinks maybe he's not manly enough, masculine enough, or what, like he's really not into violence.
Yeah.
He just kind of instigates it sometimes.
Yes. Yeah.
He needs to feel something.
Yeah.
Even if it's a punch in the face.
Pretty much. Yeah, and I think we'll talk just quickly about the this other girl he calls and sets up a date with, right?
Yeah, and maybe the nuns quick at the end.
Oh yeah, the nuns.
Yep.
Let's do a lightning round. We're past 2 hours here.
Yeah. The girl he sets up a date with is like another one of those, like, Holden doesn't really care, but like he kind of knows this girl is into him, so he's like, I'm just gonna pull that string to coerce someone to spend time with me, because otherwise it's not gonna happen, right? I'm curious to see how their date will go. I do think they're gonna go on this date, and I do think they're gonna go to this movie, but I definitely also think that Holden is going to spoil the entire time by like complaining about the movie the whole fucking time, or hyper fixating on one small superficial aspect of Sally that, like, you know, he thinks about over and over again.
Yep.
And then with the nuns, you know, he kind of thinks like, oh, this one nun sort of reminds me of Morrow's mom, who I talked to on the train. And even though she has this big nose, she has this nice smile, and she doesn't really act like what I thought a nun would act like. And, oh, she's an English teacher, so let's talk about books. And they talk about Romeo and Juliet, and he says, like, oh, well, she asked me, so I guess I'll talk about it. And I didn't really actually like Romeo at all. And the character that I actually like is Mercutio, but I feel sorry for Mercutio because, you know, Romeo does all this stuff that gets him killed, and it's not even Mercutio's fault, and that's really fucked up. And then, like, when he's thinking about Jesus, and he thinks back to when he had that conversation about the Bible with this kid at the Wooten school or whatever, or the Elkton school, I think it was. He's like, oh, I don't really like the disciples. You know, I think the disciples are kind of overrated. And, you know, my favorite character in the Bible other than Jesus is like the one crazy guy who's in the cave after Jesus gets fucking revived. You know.
Yeah. It was that. I'm glad you brought that up because I actually forgot about that since Tuesday. But that was actually like a part of the book that made me think about it for a moment because I am Catholic. So it was very much like, this is an interesting perspective on things. And I can see this was actually a part where I could see where Holden and probably Salinger were coming from. Like, yeah, Jesus's message does kind of get garbled by the apostles a little bit. So
yeah, and especially the person he's having the conversation with says like, oh yeah, I think Judas definitely went to hell, for sure. And Holden's like, I don't know, I don't think that they would send Judas to hell. He's like, I think that'd be kind of fucked up. And they're like, no, he's burning in fucking hell.
I think that's usually because they point to the his suicide. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Jesus forgives him in the garden
Mm.
when he's being arrested.
It's a good thing people don't like bastardize Jesus' message these days.
It is honestly one of the most frustrating things to see in the news all the time.
You want to talk about an audience getting the exact opposite interpretation
Yeah.
Oh
from
my
a
god.
work of art?
Yeah.
I know. That's what we mean when we say people have no media literacy these days. We're talking about the
Or critical
Bible.
thinking skills.
It's no work of art has been more misconstrued and misinterpreted than the Bible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When's that when's that movie adaptation coming out?
You
Probably
know,
after the Odyssey. There have been like the Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, it's true.
there's a new Bible movie coming out where Nicolas Cage plays Jesus in like 4 months.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, or less.
That's the new Wes Anderson movie?
Okay, we're not gonna be able to read that in time.
No. That's right around the corner though, whenever that comes out.
Oh, would it be for Christmas? That would make sense.
No, well,
Christmas
it's
or
not
Easter.
it's meant to be a dark take on the Bible. Where
So it's the Old Testament.
I don't well, but it's about Jesus. So
All right then.
I think the idea is something like I don't know, like, oh, we're gonna take a very morose and somber look at what it's like to live through your life knowing that you're fated to die, for the salvation of others. And I don't know. I think it's meant to be like a twisted, edgy kind of Bible thing.
'Cause that's what we
Just
need
what
more
we-
of in this world. Twisted and edgy.
Yeah. We should read the Bible sometime, huh?
I already did.
No, like for chapter jumps.
Well, I was saying we can't read that in time for the movie, but I don't know. We would turn into a theology podcast very quickly.
What about you think there's like Bible short films on YouTube?
Yeah, fucking
I
obviously.
do not want to get into that rabbit hole because that is like the highway on ramp to the fucking alt-right pipeline on YouTube's algorithm.
It's true. Oh, jeez.
All right, so-
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So the nuns, and really what I was trying to talk about with Jesus and Mercutio and all that, anyways, is like Holden has a lot of sympathy for like characters who are sidelined from the story or like tertiary, and not only that, but who seem to have some kind of like consequence or like fate befall them that has to do with another character. Like Holden's really annoyed at Romeo. He's like, Juliet's okay, but I really don't like Romeo because of Romeo's actions, like all this bad shit happens to other people. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not like Holden's wrong, but that's kind of what people like about Shakespeare usually. Like a lot of Shakespeare's plays are about like, the fucking dark gravity well that like the single-minded nature of a character sort of like drags the people into their like twisted orbit and destroys their own lives, by destroying other. Like that's what a lot of Shakespeare is, And so, by the way, we got to read Hamlet sometime. We already talked about that. But anyways, like
Then we watched Lion King.
Right. It was funny that we talked about Shakespeare and now Holden's talking about Shakespeare is all. And it's just one of those things that like Holden's identifying something that is true, but his takeaway is something different from just being like, oh yeah, but like that's what makes this work of art compelling. Instead, he's like, what the fuck? Why would anyone do that to Mercutio? That's so fucked up. And I feel like the nun, who's an English teacher, it's not that she doesn't, like value Holden's interpretation. I think they have a genuine conversation. But the nun kind of changes the subject, Holden notices. And I kind of feel like from like a literature educator's standpoint, you would sort of be like, well, yeah, the thing that you're complaining about is like crucial to what makes the book compelling. If Mercutio didn't die, and if these, if the actions of Romeo and Juliet's love, did not result in the fallout of like the destruction of these families, then what would the story be? Two people fall in love and have a good time?
Yep.
It's a story because of these horrible things that happen. And yet Holden really can only fixate on the negative aspect, and he's like, I think that's fucked up. That shouldn't have happened. And like he can't zoom out far enough to appreciate it as a work of art in some ways. He thinks about these people as real, and like these experiences are happening to them, and it sucks that Mercutio died.
Yeah. This the conversation with the nuns about Romeo and Juliet actually got me wondering. I said it earlier that I was contemplating what I didn't like about the book. It was partly because of this passage with the nuns and Romeo and Juliet. I was wondering before, like, what I don't like about the book is this book actually Romeo and Juliet, like, rewritten? And the answer is no. I want to make that clear. But I had a moment of thinking, he's like, does he see himself as Mercutio or Romeo, perhaps? And he's trying to find his Juliet. And this is just like some Romeo and Juliet gone wrong sort of story. But then I realized there's no factions. No one's really... I read Romeo and Juliet, part of English class, in, I think, 10th grade. So that was, doing the math here, 15 years ago.
I think if anything, he identifies with Mercutio, but
yes. So it was just a thought that I had while reading the book that wanted to articulate here, but I like I said, I think the ultimate answer is no. This is not some version of Romeo and Juliet, but I appreciate that the book made me wonder that in the first place.
Yeah.
Other things, I think. Go ahead, Connor.
I was just gonna say, I think it's a good thought, because anytime, some work that you're engaging with or whatever it is, anytime a work that you're reading references another work, I mean, I feel you should be, it's like the author could have included any work in here at all. So the fact that they're referencing Romeo and Juliet must be important in some way.
Yep.
Like, it's interesting that the characters have a conversation about it, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, that was kind of my thought process. Like, why is this being mentioned? It's not my usual, like, oh, this is just an Easter egg. Someone just making a reference for the sake of being a reference, which is kind of how I do things. But
the crazy thing is that Shakespeare was still alive when this came out. So, anyways, the other thing I wanted to note was, well, not my note, but other thing I wanted to mention was,
we're gonna get to that.
He gave the nuns money. They weren't looking for donations. He was like, "Hey, here's some money just for next time you're taking donations. This is for you." Then he like tries to pay for their meal too. Like,
yep,
he was really being a good little boy.
Yeah, at least trying to be a good patron.
Yeah,
I don't know if the patron's not the right word, but he was trying to be good,
even though he's pretty much an atheist.
Yeah.
Yes, and also this is just after he like counts his money and he has way less than he thought.
Yes, exactly. He's like, I don't actually have that much.
Yeah. He says that, in fact, I actually took a note of this because I was sort of like, what? He says, I had spent a king's ransom in about 2 lousy weeks, which is exactly when he's realizing, like, oh man, I've spent a lot of money. I don't know if he's exaggerating the way that he usually does when he says, like, oh, I spent an hour doing this or blah, blah, blah. Like, a lot, he exaggerates a lot. But when he said 2 lousy weeks, I thought it was weird because I think the book's very clear that everything we've read so far, up until when I said it transitioned to Sunday, has taken place in 24 hours. And so it kind of implies that even before this point, you know, he's been just spending left and right, which I guess isn't weird necessarily, but definitely the important thing to note is that after he realizes how little money he has relatively, he's still like, oh, not only will I donate to the nuns, but to the nuns.
The
Fuck me.
nuns.
I know.
Donate the nuns to the nuns.
but hey, I'll pick up your tab. You know, I'll buy you breakfast.
Yep. Part of that may have just been him being, you know, very interested in women, and nuns typically are women. But this interaction did not give off that impression. This interaction did seem like he genuinely was trying to be nice and generous towards them.
Yeah, he wasn't horny for the nuns, I don't think.
I don't think that fetish had really taken off when Salinger wrote this, so probably for the best.
But what was it? Yeah, do you want to hear my final note?
Yes.
Yes.
I liked when Holden Caulfield called himself Holden Vitamin Caulfield, HV Caulfield.
Sorry, you went underwater there. What was the
Holden Vitamin Caulfield? HV Caulfield for short. That was his little nickname for himself.
I should have guessed that because that was a crazy thing to write.
I know, I love it.
One of the first things that I said when we were starting our conversation, the first episode, I said the story starts with like an obvious run-on sentence. And like our conversation focused a lot on like the conventions of writing that Salinger seems to happily, you know, disregard. And who knows what the writing conventions were in the 50s. I'm not even saying like, but again, like if you were going to write a book today, nobody would tell you to write it like Catcher in the Rye. And and this line that Connor's referencing here, there is no fucking editor on this planet who would be like, oh yeah, keep that in. You gotta keep that. They'd be like, what are you? You are off your fucking rocker. Holden Vitamin Coffee, HV Caulfield?
HVC?
So good.
And yet, I do think that there's like this beauty to it. Connor, I was flabbergasted when I read that line, and I should have guessed that was your last note. What a crazy thing to write in a book.
I know. I just feel like that would that be his Twitter username or something? You know, like
for real.
It's just very funny.
And dude, I mean, like, how many times have we said shit like that?
Yeah.
Just so, you know, I mean, like, how far away is that from like the Egg Cream Dream Team? It's the same.
And that's exactly, exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. Holden Vitamin Caulfield, it's insane.
I know. You know, in a lot of ways, he is one of us, and that's disturbing and endearing at the same time.
Definitely. Well, I have nothing else to add. Josh?
I was struggling to remember a point that I had about 2 minutes ago, but it's completely left the station without me, so we can end this.
Save it for next week.
Hold
on, I'm gonna completely forget it.
Just destroyed.
It's gone.
What else are you gonna end with? How do you beat that? You know.
True, folks. Thanks for listening to this monster of an episode. Hope you enjoyed it. I had fun, so hope you did too. We'll be covering chapters 16 through 20. I always get the fucking numbers wrong.
No, you're right.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna do.
So look forward to that. You can follow us on Blue Sky and Twitter at Chapter Chumps. We are on Twitch at you can do go to twitch.tv/corrupted television. Corrupted television to stream.
Connor, TV like the letters or TEVE?
Television.
Like the letters.
Like the wait, what?
For YouTube, it's Corrupted TV, just the letters.
For YouTube it is TEEVE.
Oh, it is?
It is.
See,
Yeah.
This is why I had to specify.
Anyways, folks,
Look for the little white TV logo.
Rate
that's
us 5 stars in Apple Podcasts. Leave us a nice review. And have a wonderful week. But most importantly, folks, until next time.
Get ready for the next goddamn episode where we're gonna maybe talk about Holden seeing a movie. We really just might, maybe.
Is that the first time we've done it next time?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Next time
on Chapter Chumps.
on HVC.